Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the beautiful day with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. It is Monday. It is February the 10th. Thank you very much for joining us. I guess for those of you, especially the guys, although ladies too, enjoyed yesterday's Super Bowl. The only part I watched was the last 5 minutes because I was out all day. I was out all day at a very wonderful event sponsored by Nicholas Brooklyn. We were at the Restoration Plaza at 1368 Fulton Street, and then we went over to the store in and of itself. And by the time I got back, I only was able to see 5 minutes. So therefore, I do want to wish and congratulate the Super Bowl winners, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. So anyway, before I start with all this, let me tell you that the show is sponsored to you by U-Juice. It's sugar-free. It's an excellent product. You really got to order it. And it is free from all sugar and GMOs and things of that nature. Also, Jazz Aphrodite is going to be performing this Valentine's Day on Friday. So if you wish to see her song, is Singing to Heal. So for those of you who wish to view her performance, just text her at the number that you see on the screen for all the specific details. And of course, the show is also sponsored by Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly, which she has several shows a week now, and she's really expanding, and I'm very happy for her. So anyway, before I start with activities today, I didn't kind of know. Sometimes I kind of got an idea what I'm going to do. And then sometimes I guess with the way my nature works, sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do. That kind of makes it exciting and kind of last minute. But anyway, I do want to give you the forecast for today that I'm always sure. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's very important underneath like, share, and subscribe. I will never, ever in any way, shape, or form ask you for a penny. Okay, this is very, very important. So if you see somebody pretending to be me, which there have been some clones, so to speak, definitely be mindful. If I'm asking you for money, it's not me. I don't do that. But anyway, today is Monday, February the 10th. Wow, we're almost halfway into the month. The sun is still in Aquarius. The moon is in the sign of Leo, which means it's a full moon. Anytime the sun and the moon are in opposition signs like that, you should see the moon in the sky. It's 11 universal month, a 4 universal week, a 3 universal day. And so if one happens to be a Pisces or Sagittarius or born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of the month, well, this is your day. Okay. There are two things. I just want to talk about the Super Bowl just a little bit because I'm not a sports person. Although last year at the New York station here in New York City, I was talking about the predictions of last year's Super Bowl. I said it would be very close. And I've done predictions over decades, prize fights, football games primarily, and other events. And I'm always on the edge because, I'm not taking sides one way or the other. I'm just giving the outcome, but I've done that for years. So what's happening is there's some new kids on the block that are doing these things now too. And so I'm not talking about the sports people in Las Vegas, the gambling people. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the average person. But for those who rooted for the Eagles, yay for you. For those that rooted for the Chiefs, well, even if they didn't, don't forget the last 2 prior Super Bowls they won. So, the sun don't come out every day. So if you understand that, you don't have a problem at all. But anyway, there was a person, when the Super Bowl started, the halftime performance, and I understand yesterday's halftime performance was just out of this world with Kendrick Lamar, who's supposed to be congratulated. They had all kinds of people from Samuel L. Jackson narrating to people strutting across the floor. I think Serena Williams, I think they said was there. I miss all of this. I understand it'll probably be on YouTube. I'll probably check it out. But I understand it was a very fantastic display of creative artwork in terms of musical entertainment. But let me tell you what is important to understand. There was a reason why Super Bowls now have these fantastic halftime shows. And you know the person to thank for it, believe it or not? I gotta be honest. You would almost sound like I'm partial, but before I do this, let me give credit to also Melinda or Queen Bee. She did a prediction. If you see, just go to YouTube and click on numerologics at the very top of this image there. Click on numerologics and you'll see the prediction she made. She was very specific about the football teams, their birth dates, the coaches' birth dates. I mean, she went in, as they say. And as you see underneath, she says the NF champions, Philadelphia Eagles, why they will win. So she said this way in advance. And it's one thing to talk, but it's one thing to talk about it in advance. Okay, this is it, but why they're going to win. And that's exactly what she said. She didn't say they will win. She said why they will win for 2025. So I have to give her props. Also, I understand there's some things that's going on that there's in the rap world, so-called, there's this beef, as they call it, between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I don't know what that is because I'm not kind of in that world, like keeping up with them. I've got a lot that I'm trying to handle myself. But at any rate, I understand there's a dispute. But later on this evening, after the show at 8:30, Queen Bee is actually doing Money Matters. And you can look at it at Numerologics. What's the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar? I do know this. Kendrick is a Gemini. He's born on the 17th of June. Where Drake is a Scorpio born on the 24th day of the month. All right. So one is air, one is water, one is an 8, one is a 6. But to me, actually, 8s and 6s get along very well because they're both earth numbers. But nonetheless, wherever the beef, misunderstandings is, God bless them. But Queen Bee, Melinda, who is a guest on my show, by the way, will be giving details. That'll be at 8:30. Also, I didn't have enough time to pull, but I want to give also credit to Nick Westbrook. I saw the interview he did with Eric B. So if you want to see Eric Biggie Astrology, go to YouTube, type in Biggie Astrology, and you see he also predicted who would win the Eagles, and he also predicted who would get the most valuable player of the award. I think it was the quarterback for the Eagles too. So I don't know these names and stuff like that. So I ain't going to try to embarrass myself. But let me tell you this. The halftime shows, like yesterday's performance, came about as a result of one person. That one person that it came about, and I want to read to you what it was. Because prior, up until 1993, the halftime shows from their description was lousy. Not my words, lousy. And what they wanted to do in 1993, the year of the master number 22, they decided to go big. Would you like to know who they picked to do that? Michael Jackson. And I'm going to read you what was said. Okay. It says Michael Jackson is to thank for the star power that's displayed annually during the Super Bowl halftime show. After years of lousy, that's their words, halftime show performances, the NFL brought in music's biggest star to play at halftime at the Super Bowl 27 at the Rose Bowl. This was on January the 31st of 1993. And so using body doubles at first, it appears that Jackson was atop of 2 video boards in the stadium. But eventually he popped out of the middle of the stage and stood frozen for nearly 2 minutes as the crowd roared. He later sang Billie Jean. He also sung Jam, Black and White. And he closed out his performance by saying, singing the song at that time, We Are the World. But this is what they said at the tail end of this article here. Jackson's performance was considered to be revolutionary, with it being the first time that the Super Bowl's ratings jumped during halftime and into the second half of the game. So in other words, if you were to watch this video, because this is the way he appeared, they said that for 2 minutes, they said it drove Michael Jackson strategically delayed the start of his Super Bowl halftime show for nearly 2 minutes, causing the director to lose his mind. Well, you got to be in the world of arts and performance like this to know that everything has to go like clockwork down to the second. But what happens is, if you were to look at the video, he explained, that is Michael Jackson, he called the guy producing the show, and this is him on stage like that, standing there for 2 minutes. He called at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, listen, you know the man's got some juice when you're going to call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he told the producer that he has a concept. The concept is the music will start once he does this concept. And the concept was, when he popped up from the middle of the stage, what he did was he just stared for nearly 2 minutes, which is his number anyway. And part of the concept was to take off the glasses. And only when he took off the glasses, that's when the performance started. Okay. And that set everybody, a crowd, into a frenzy. He understood the psychology of human beings. He waited. They just waited. They just stood there waiting for him. And in fact, this was the event. Look how crowded that arena was on that day in 1993. Because again, only up until 1993, all the Super Bowls were great, don't get me wrong. But the halftime shows that was designed to keep you doing the football breaks, half times, to keep you entertained and whatnot, that wasn't doing too well until, again, they brought this gentleman in, Michael Jackson. Okay. So again, I'm just saying that musically, we're the greatest people on the planet. It just goes to show, and I'm glad that the NFL was astute enough to know that in order to move this thing in the direction that's taking place. So when you see the production, which I missed yesterday, of Kendrick Lamar and the entertainers and other celebrities that graced the halftime stage, you gotta thank this man for it. That's all I'm saying. And it's very, 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 very important that all credit is due to this musical giant, this brilliant, brilliant giant of musical legend, Michael Jackson. All right, so now got that straight. So anyway, I have an event coming up tomorrow. Well, it's not an event, but this is it. I'm having a power series on relationships. Now, this is very, very important. I talked about relationships, the value of relationships. And in fact, what I did was I recorded it. Nope, that's not it. Where did I put that at? Yes, this is it. I actually recorded about relationships. And this was aired yesterday. You can still see it. If you want to see it about what I talked about, you go to Kimberly, KIMBALEY _ KIMBAYLEY _ on YouTube. And we were talking about power couples, okay? Because we were laughing right then, because we were talking about some couples that have been married much longer than most people are living and watching the show tonight. But what I was talking about is relationships, because we are always in relationships. And this is an important thing. So what I'm doing tomorrow is I'm adding clarity to relationships, how to find your soulmate, and it's not just soulmates about relationships, but why we get along better with one person than another. Why is it we can't stand another person more than another? So for those of you that's been already, that has come up to the series, just be there to see it. So if you want to, just click on the QR code, just be a part of it. Because on the show that I did with Miss Kimberly and I, we talked about the power couples. The power couples was Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson, the famous musical team legend of the 60s, 70s, and 80s for Motown and other record labels. We then talked about the Hollywood celebrities of Courtney Vance and Angela Bassett. And we also talked about the most popular in entertainment, which is the power couple of Beyonce and Jay-Z. And so, but we were talking about other couples, but there is a power couple we're going to talk about tomorrow. A power couple that has been married more than any person could think of. But the point is this: you may not want to be married as long as some of the persons I talked about in my interview on YouTube with Miss Kimberly yesterday or the other day. But what you want to do is, if you are in a relationship, to have it go as long as humanly possible without there being that, we got daggers looking at each other. We're staring at each other in family court. And, if anybody's ever gone to family court, they'll tell you the same people that was once so in love is now staring at each other with daggers. I don't understand what happened in that process of love is right there. And then what happened on the inside, where by the end of it, y'all can't stand each other. You trying to do this, they trying to do that, and nobody's happy. What y'all are doing is making the courts happy, because what you don't know is that every time the courts gets money, the government doubles that money. So you're making the courts really, really wealthy when you're doing that in family court between, the mother and the father and the children and all that stuff. So, but that's what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. And I think it's very, very important to find out. But I did say in this interview with Miss Kimberly and I that the first relationship begins with yourself. It's just that simple. Once you know yourself, then you can deal with anybody in your space. You will understand why you are very drawn to them. You will understand why you are not drawn to them. You will understand why there's a kind of a synergy as soon as you meet. You know what I'm saying? And then you can have it whereby, because for example, when I do lectures, right, and I've done plenty of them over the years, I noticed that people will sit, especially when people don't know each other, they'll sit in areas. And I was demonstrating in Baltimore a couple of months ago when I did a lecture there, where I noticed that people under certain numbers and certain signs sat right next to each other, don't know each other. People under certain numbers seem to sit right next to each other. This is almost infallible. You would have to be in my world of numerology and astrology to see this when I lecture. Why you can go into a lecture room and you decide that I want to sit over here. No, I want to sit over there. Give you an example. This past Friday, I was invited to the theater in downtown Manhattan. And I was invited as a guest of 19 Keys. And where they set me at, there was kind of in the middle of the row. I like being on the edge. So I asked, could I sit on the edge? Well, lo and behold, when 19 Keys was first introduced, he came off the stage, he started going up the aisle to shake people's hands. And then we saw each other, you know what I'm saying? But had I sat in the middle, I would have missed it. So what makes us do the things we do as people? We just don't pay attention. If you go to a concert or whatever, now, if you have designated seats, that's one thing. But I'm talking about when there are no designated seats. When you decide, well, I think I want to sit over here. No, I want to sit over there. And I'm finding almost always, but you got to be in the experience of what I do when I do countless lectures, that almost always when I raise hands, get the birthdays, get the numbers, almost most signs are sitting in that area, or most numbers are sitting in that area. It's almost like a cluster. It's almost as if there's a kind of invisible string that pulls this person over here, this person over there. I've seen it countless times. So we all have an energy. We all have a force field that we are drawn to. And so one of the things I want to do is begin to explain tomorrow. And I want everybody there as much as possible, if they can, to come there so you can find out how, because we're always in relationship. I don't care what nobody says, from the womb to the tomb, we are in a relationship, whether it starts with our parents and then evolve to other things. I think it's great. Okay. So anyway, let me start at the top here. And if you got a question about it, fine, about a relationship. So greeting, Mary. Thank you so much. And also, Ms. Herb, I thank them very much too. Let me see. And Alette says, good evening. Good evening to you too. And Benefit Boss. And thank you. We are a family. I call it the Live with Lloyd family. That's what I designated, because that's the energy I grew up in. You will find that the more you are in a family kind of unit, the more you are protected. And maybe that's the reason why I saw some article recently why trying to tell people they need to learn how to live alone. Man wasn't designed like that. It's not. How you gonna get together and make some babies living alone? I don't know how you're gonna do that. Okay, I'm just kind of keeping it real with the logic of it. All right. And Stephen E., my buddy, November 15th. How you doing? So I don't know how you do it, but the point is to be able to understand why we are in relationships and what makes it what it is. It's very, very important that we do that, because the more you understand yourself, the better you have. And one of the things I did in the interview with Miss Kimberly and I that aired about relationships and the power couples, I explained, and don't take my word, do it yourself. Have you have a favorite store you like to go to, or a place you like to spend your money all the time? Well, more than likely, it is a place that matches your number. For example, I gave the example in the interview. There's a when I was into playing lottery a lot. I don't play lotteries that much at all, very little now. But I noticed there was a store I would always go into. Now I live in New York City. There are tons of stores all over the radius in my area here in Harlem. I could have went to a whole bunch of stores, but out of all the stores, there was one store I loved to go to if I was going to play lottery. And that store happened to add up to the number 7. Well, guess who's the number 7? Yours truly. And I'm saying that no matter who you are, whatever place, and don't take my word for it, just begin to look for yourself. When you go someplace, see, because we don't be looking at the addresses, but that's what I do because I'm a number guy, all right? But the next time you go into your favorite store or where you spend your money at the most, 9 times out of 10, on an average of 8 out of 10, sometimes 10 out of 10, the address is either matching your birth number first or your data or your zodiac sign. What do I mean? So let's say you have a person that's a number 4 and they always go into this place. Well, the place may add up to a 4, just like them. Or it could govern the zodiac sign, because 4 rules the sign of Leo secondarily and Aquarius primarily. So what I'm saying is that we all have this energy, this synergy, which is why we do better with one or another. So I'm going to be talking about the relationship. Yes, boyfriend, girlfriend. Yes, husband, wife, all that stuff. I understand that. But I'm talking about the relationship we have on an everyday level with neighbors, co-workers, friends, the community, the places you buy, the places you spend your time at. And we're not even talking about on the job, with co-workers and bosses and things like that. People in between that we don't know. I'm saying, okay, benefits boss said you predicted the Eagles based on the numbers. That's right. Thank you. Good for you. I'm glad you won. Benefit. So anyway, this is how you do it. And so Mike Bailey says, hit the like button as you come in. That's exactly what Jazz Aphrodite suggests that you do. All right. But I'm going to get into these numbers in a moment. I was just saying hi to everybody. And this is one of my favorites, Kendall, the hypnotist. She's been on the show within the last couple of months. I got to have her husband on about survival. It's going to be tough out here. It's not going to be no joke. Okay. As you know, the president, the 47th president, is laying off 2 million people. And that's just in one arena. He shut down USAID. I'm not familiar with these agencies like that, but somebody's having a hissy fit, as they used to say. Okay. Which means a lot of people are going to be out of work. Okay. And it means that you need to think in terms of having a backup of some kind. That if this happens, then what do you do? Which is one of the reasons why I'm teaching later this month in February on the 25th, how to make a living doing this. When I was doing this, there was no courses, none of that. But I built it into a career, authored books, been on all the TV shows you can imagine, all the radio shows around the country and outside of the country, from Africa to Asia, you name it. But it happens. And what I'm saying is I've learned enough to show you how you can do something as an option. You don't have to do this as living as I do. The thing just got a hold of me and didn't let go. And I'm so glad that I went along for the ride. But what I'm saying is it's nothing like having a backup in this 21st century. based upon this new year of 2025 that we're going into. And within a matter of, I think the president was sworn in on the 20th. It's not even the 20th of the month yet. And there have been so many radical changes within those who work in the government knows what I'm talking about. And I'm just saying to you to have a backup. Not that everybody's got to, oh, thanks, Jazz. She's not performing. She's having a class. I'm so sorry, dear. Well, see, you when I saw the mic in your hand, see how the mind works? I'm seeing her singing. I'm saying, okay, where is the venue at? Okay, let's go show some support for the sister. But even though she's not performing, it is a class. So maybe text her still, as the instruction says, so you can know what's going on. All righty. Peace. I think he's from across the pond. Thank you for joining us live with LLoyd family. But anyway, it's important that we understand these things and know how to deal with people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some birthdays here. Hi, Iris. Thank you very much for joining. Also, this and Sister Maya, my Virgo 4 lady. I read a lady today. She was born on the 22nd. When I did her name, her first name added to a 4, her total name added to a 4. It's amazing how people's numbers will follow them. All you have to do is pay attention to your numbers. So yes, when I'm reading and I'm doing these numbers quickly and whatnot, so your numbers are so and so and so, don't take it arbitrarily. Understand that although I'm just rattling off because I've got a lot of people, limited time, but when I say it, these are your angel numbers. I'm not talking every time you look at a clock or look at a license plate. I'm talking about every single one of you on this show and beyond have their angel numbers that's determined from their date of birth. It is unmovable. It is unshakable. It is unwaverable. It is your constant. It's like the compass that points north, or the needle that points north on the compass. That's what I meant to say. Thank you. And so it's about finding your compass and which direction is your north. Somebody else may be pointing east or west or south. You want to find which is pointing north in your case. And once you do that, you will find that you will do extremely very well. As Mike Bailey says, can y'all please hit the button? Please and thanks. So I'm going to take a few calls, okay? Let me see. Okay. Kendra says, hi, LLoyd, did the show. You did my reading last year, was accurate. Thank you. I was hoping you would take some time to do it again. The birthday is January the 20th of 1980. Well, I tell you this, Kendra. First of all, you're a Capricorn 2 person. Well, it's really a borderline because like Kalia Washington, the famous astrologer that I have on often, is born on this day, but she's in the sign of Aquarius. But you say you are, and it's right there, you say you are a Capricorn. So what it depends on this, when you're borderline on the cusp of the 20th, 21st, 22nd, is where were you born and what time you were born. So for example, if Kendra here, for example, was born in Hawaii, well, that's 6 hours back in time. If she's born in China or India, that's 12 hours ahead of time. So now you see why an astrologer must know your time of birth and where you were born, because that's like finding the GPS. Where was the constellation of the stars at the point you were born? So evidently, wherever she was born was obviously still in the sign of Capricorn. And she says this is a 3-year, and you're exactly right. What I did was this. I said January the 20th, and I added it to the year 2025. Anytime any of you wish to know what cycle you are in now for 2025, you take your month and date of birth, and then you just put in the year that you want to know about. The beautiful part about this technique in numerology, whoever came upon it, was the fact that you can go back in time and you can go in time and you can go ahead of time. Okay. So she says, well, what cycle will I be in the year 2033? Well, she will be in a 2 personal year. And I simply did mentally January the 20th, 2033, and that added to a 2. That's what you'll be in. It's just that simple. So what I'm saying is we all have milestones: birth of a child, a marriage, a job, something, some milestone, good, bad, or indifferent. But if you can remember the year because everything is cyclical, like the seasons. Right now it's winter, so it's cold out there. It was snowing here yesterday, okay? I really didn't feel like going out, but I did. Um, but the point is that just like the seasons of the year, we have seasons in our lives too. So what you want to determine is what is your spring, what is your summer, as well as your fall, and especially your winter. Because for the summer, that's like where your Jupiter is, when you're all powerful and whatnot. As for Saturn, that's where your winter is. That's the low point that we have. So every single one of us have it. It's just a matter of understanding it. Okay. So this is you. So this is going to be a fun year for you. You're absolutely right. This is a 3 personal year. And I think this is very important. So it's a fun time for you. 3 gets along very well with Capricorn, and your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 8. Those are your angel numbers. Now for Dr. Cynthia, she's considering adopting a little girl whose birthday is December 25th. Her name is Maya. That's interesting because Maya's name adds up to 4, 5, 6, 7. That's interesting. Your little lady that you're about to adopt, bless her soul, 4-year-old, is or going to be 4 years old. So she's 3 right now. Her name adds up to a 7 under the Chaldean system, and she's born on the 25th. It's a 7. So you got a toddler that's an old spirit. That's who you got. But then again, she's a Capricorn, and so are you. Your numbers are slightly different. Y'all do have a number that's similar. Your key numbers, Dr. Cynthia, are always the 3, the 8, and the 6. Well, Maya, that you're about to take under your wings, and bless your soul for doing that, her numbers are the 7, 2, and 8. So what are the common denominators you'll have? You'll have the 8 in common. That means that she grows and thinks she's grown and going to tell you what to do, as all children do. And my mother told me I'd get my turn, but I didn't think that woman knew what she was talking about. Okay? Well, in this case, Saturday is always the best day for you all to be on the same page. And also Friday. Friday is very friendly to her too. Her key numbers again are the 7, 2, and 8. And Mondays and Saturdays, Monday and Saturdays are her best days. Your numbers are the 3, 8, and 6. So your best days are always on a Thursday, followed by a Saturday, followed by a Friday. So you're the weekend lady, Dr. Cynthia. But that's nice. That's nice. So you compatible? Oh, yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. And let me tell you this, women have an instinct about them, especially a motherly side that comes out of you. If you didn't think so, you wouldn't have done this, because you just said, okay, I need to go somewhere else. And it's interesting because the name Cynthia under the Chaldean system adds to a 20 or a 2. So that means your birthday would attract anyone born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, like little Maya, or the 29th of the month. Okay? That's what that tells me. And in fact, not only would it attract to it, but it tells me, Dr. Cynthia, that that's probably one of the zodiac signs or date of birth of one of your parents. Again, Cancer, or person born on the 2nd to 7th, the 11th to 20th, 11th to 16th, the 20th, 25th, or 29th of any month. Okay? But anyway, yes, you're compatible. I don't care what birthday is. The fact that you would take her under your wing and out of these foster homes and stuff like that is a blessing for you and a blessing for little Maya too. Okay. All right. Benefits boss. She was wondering, is that Philly's founding date? Yes, I understand it's a 9. And yesterday was a 9. Okay. And it's interesting because the Super Bowl was founded under the sign of Leo. And yesterday the moon was in Leo. And the quarterback that won was a Leo, born August the 7th. I forgot his name. See, but I remember his birthday. I got issues. I'm trying to work this out. Okay. But his birthday is August the 7th. Okay. And Sunday's his best day. So it's just interesting. Again, congratulations. I think he was selected as the what they call it. They give you the trophy, the most best player of the. Please, for you sports people, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. This is Darius. They're born on March the 1st, and it say any insight for the year of 2025. Yes, it is. For you, you're going to have to toe the line. For you, you're going to have a semblance of order and purpose, direction, and focus, a kind of a roadmap, or as they call it now, a blueprint as to how you're going to get from point A to point B. It ain't going all around the barn. You know, in geometry, the saying is a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. So that's how you're going to have to think this year. Also, you're also in the kind of year whereby that less is more. In other words, you make use of what you already have. There was a piece I was listening to today where they were talking about part of this country is not only overindulgences on these things that get people booted, you know, the drugs. You know, they talk about fentanyl coming out of China, but you know how many medications that people are on here in this state from the medical industry, okay? From Prozac, even giving dogs Prozac. I don't know what that's about, but people on a whole lot of things they really need not to be on. And so with that being the case, it's just being a mindful of being more attentive to what you want, have a sense of purpose. But the nice thing about the year is your personal year is a 4, but your numbers are the 1, 4, and 3. So since this year that your personal year you're in is in alignment with one of your key numbers, your second most position number, one is the first position, is like win, place, or show in horse racing. So your 4 is in place, second place. Okay. So since that's in a year, but it means now you got an opportunity to get it together. Another thing is it's the kind of year that what you put into it is what you get back in return. Nothing in is nothing out. So if you understand that, you should have a good year. It's just making of it what you got. Okay. Um, Mike Bailey said there was a lot of 17s on display. Again, I missed the entire game when by the time I got home and I called my son, there was literally 5 minutes in the score. I think at that time was 40-6. Okay. But the quarterback for the the Kansas City Chiefs managed to kind of get it up to 20, which in less than 5 minutes, that's phenomenal. So I don't know what happened. All I know is that two of the people I had on my show, Melinda or Queen Bee, who successfully predicted, and also my other guest that I had on, Nick Westbrook, Bees numerologist, do me proud. And they did their research too. They wasn't making no willy-nilly statements. They did their homework. They went in and down the rabbit hole to do that. All right. Okay. So now this has been a bit boss. She says she has a court date coming up. She didn't say when. Um, she's born on the 15th of November. Do I see a favorable outcome for you? Well, first of all, you happen to be in an 8 personal year. Okay. What I simply did was I took the month and day you born, November the 15th, added to the year 2025. Mentally, it's an 8. 8 deals with all legal matters. It rules business. It rules things dealing with real estate, banking, law, government, legal documents, things of that nature. So it all depends. But I can tell you this, I don't know what date is assigned, but if those dates happen to be on, because first of all, your key or angel numbers are always the 6, 9, and 3, right? So that means your best day is a Friday. Your next best day is a Tuesday. And your third best day is a Thursday. So if you do the way the calendar works from Sunday to Saturday, it would be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but yours is Friday first, followed by Tuesday, then Thursday. If the court date is assigned to one of those 3 days, you have a better than average chance of hopefully things working your way. And then it all depends on the date in which it falls on. So it falls on a Friday the 24th, for example. Well, that's your day and your number, because 6 is one of your numbers. If it falls on a Thursday the 21st, well, that's a Thursday, which is one of your days, and 3 is one of your numbers. So it all depends. Okay. So I would say that looking at it, since you're in an 8, since 8 rules power, authority, success, achievement, and recognition, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for you. And 8 definitely deals with the court system too. So you see what happens. Okay. All righty. And this is Brother Haru. Haru was the gentleman that was on that I had on my show last week. We were in attendance yesterday, and I had the pleasure of meeting him. I'll show you a picture that was taken of us at some point by Monique. But that was the most fascinating health expo. It was the first of its kind, and I was busy from the time I got there. And I mean, I had to leave. They were still going, and I left. I had to say, I got to get out of here. I need some rest. But they were really doing that. Okay. The man is brilliant. We all are brilliant once we're in our right state of mind And under the circumstances of which we as Black people have come into this country, under just the drama and the nonsense and sometimes the inhumanity toward us, we have done extremely well. That says something a lot about us. But yet, some of us, unfortunately, have been programmed to think we are worth nothing. I'm not down with none of that, nor should you be. Okay? That's all I'm saying to you. It's my opinion, and the facts prove it out. The history proves it out. The accomplishments proves it out too. You see who brought the halftime show to the Super Bowl and made it what it is today with Kendrick Lamar performing yesterday. It was Michael Jackson. Well, who is he? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's such obvious things in your face. So that's all I'm saying, folks. That's right. MJ. That's who did it. Michael Jackson. I like that, Nakia Lee. Yes, Michael Jackson. All righty. So this is Mariah. Her birth number is 515. She's a Taurus. She was born at 2:15 p.m., which means her sun is in the 8th house. Okay, so her moon is in Scorpio, which means you were born in a full moon. Because if you're a Taurus and your moon is in Scorpio, that means it was a full moon if you were to get an ephemeris, which is what astrologers use to look way in the past and way in the future. Okay, and your sun is in Taurus, and you'll have a Virgo ascendant. But if you look at your sun, it's definitely in the 8th house, the house of death. And it's not so much literal death, just symbolic death, that you begin to be philosophical about your life, why things are happening, what does all this mean? And so for you to be biologically young, you may have thoughts about ancestors and things of that nature, but nonetheless, you are in a 4 personal year. No, excuse me, I'm wrong. You are in a 2 personal year. And I didn't do the math on paper. You could be a master number 11, but it tells me this. You are in a year to make a transition. A transition means normally there are changes in 3 areas. One is diet, first of all, being a Taurus and a 6, because 6 is, listen, Taurus is like good food. 6 is like good food. So when you double the fact that 6 rules the sign of Taurus, and you born on the 15th, it denotes money, gifts, and favors from others, and good and rich foods. So if you were concerned about maybe you need to lose a pound or 2, you couldn't have picked a better cycle to be in than this one now. Not only that, but it means making changes around the home too, as well as changes in the workplace. Okay. Your key numbers, by the way, are the 6, 3, and 9, and your best days are always, without exceptions, on a Friday, a Thursday, and a Tuesday. Okay, those are it. This is this is Barbara Rao. Her birthday's coming up. First of all, this is a great year for you for the following reason. 1, you're a 9, and this year 2025 adds up to a 9. 2, your second best number in the win, place, or show is always a 3. Your numbers are the 9, 3, and 6. So with that being the case, this should be a very good time for you to expand, to grow, to evolve, to reach higher levels of what you're doing and whatnot. So on both sides of the fence, you got it made, and it's rare. Either the personal year is favoring your zodiac sign or the personal year is favoring one of your numbers. This year is favoring both. I couldn't be happier for you. The only thing is avoid overindulgence, not going off the edge, because 3s can go to the extreme, and that's the cycle you're in, but have fun. Okay. And this is where you go. Go to numerologics. This is the young lady who predicted she's Queen Bee. She's got her own TV show. She's out of Philly. She is no joke. She's a Leo, but most Leos are no joke. Please go and view her segment tonight on whatever this they like to call it beef. I'd say misunderstanding. See, it's all depends on the word you use. But they want to make it beef as if they're going to pull out some guns in a couple of minutes and start shooting at each other. It ain't that serious. Okay. Or maybe it is, because I don't know. But she knows, and she'll be doing that tonight. So when you go to YouTube, that is the title, Numerologics, and you type that in, and you'll see, and she'll go there for that. But all I say is she's good at what she does. Galen, thank you. Benefit Ross, facts. Yes. This person says the Wayne's family and Gary Indiana's family's finest. In other words, the Wayne family came out of Indiana, and so did the Jackson family as well. Lin, thank you so much for this. Okay. Let's see. But anyway, I want to thank everybody, and please, I got to tell you, my moderator on Monday is the most fantastic person, equally as well as my moderator on Wednesday, Empress Rel. And they are the ones that kind of keep me in check. I don't count the numbers. They are the ones that tell, because I rarely say, can you put your thumbs up and all that other stuff? You know, if you like it, you do. If you don't, when I started this show, it wasn't about getting no monies, no cash apps. It wasn't about trying to get the numbers up, although all the things I learned, people had to tell me I did, because my focus is on doing something I love, which is numerology. Then I have issues because I'm very inquisitive. I've always been that way since a kid, which is probably why I got in a little trouble every now and then. Well, most kids do when they're a little inquisitive, okay? Uh-oh, this person must be a Taurus. He says, no wonder I don't like Drake. He has the same birthday as Scoundrel's sister. Okay, I don't know what that means. If he is on the 24th under the sign of Scorpio, that means, my dear, you must be talking about a Taurus. Okay. And so, well, whatever, listen, you ain't supposed to like everybody. Anytime everybody like you, there's a problem, because normally it don't work that way in life. There's always, as they call it, the yin and the yang. And when you understand that, you don't have a problem. But be that as it may, if you don't like him, it's okay. It's okay. But don't let it be to the point that it gets inside and, keep you from doing what you need to do. Yes, Michael Jackson is a beast. Yes, he is. Again, anytime that they need to save the day, they call a brother or sister. That's the script. I don't know why we can't see that. And that should tell you something too. Okay. When I went to the event on Friday, the C19 Keys, he had this brother on. See, I'm not the sports, but when I showed my son who it was, my son bugged out. It was Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. I did find out he was born on October 24th. That I found out. In fact, that's interesting because that's the same day as Drake. Okay. But when you listen to this brother on the stage with 19 Keys, I can see why he's not getting no play. He negotiated his own deal for $300 million without an agent that gets 4%, which meant as long as he was in the world of football for less, they stay in there about at least 7 to 8 years old, depending on how well they keep their health, that agent would have gotten $4 million free and clear. And these agents got more than just one athlete they're representing. And so he became not, because he didn't follow the so-called business model. The business model, you're supposed to get an agent. That agent's supposed to work a deal for you. They're supposed to get their 4% cut as long as you play the game. Well, he negotiated his own. He was approached by Nike to do sneakers. Well, he did his own sneakers. Okay, they look pretty nice too. Okay, so what I'm saying is there's a consciousness that's happening in our communities where we're beginning to look at that a lot of things. For example, why the towns of black towns that were developed were all destroyed? What is it about it? When you begin to really question things, and I'm not trying to start no stuff, but I'm trying to get people to think. And one of the things we are not doing as we should is doing the kind of thinking that should make us the kind of people we are, because we're great. And anybody that's got a problem with that, I need to look at you, because I'm going to want, as my mother told me, you want for other people what you want for yourself. I don't hate no people. I wish everybody know what part of the human family they come from, but you can't deprive me. No, it don't work like that. That's not the script, not my script. And what I'm saying is that people have problems with that. So that tells me that these people have problems with that, got issues that they need to resolve. We cannot be stopped. We will not be denied. And we will not vanish from this planet, knowing we are the original man. I'm just talking history, folks. It ain't revolution. It ain't this and that. It ain't hating. For those who are kind of like, oh, he must be hating, it ain't that kind of party. I'm talking about history, and the facts of history is on our side. Okay? So that's all I'm saying, folks. And I'll rest my case with that. Now, y'all can take it out y'all want to. This is my opinion, because this is my program. Okay? So if y'all think otherwise, you'll get your own shows. You get your own things like that. I ain't hating on nobody because we're all entitled to our opinions, but we're not the facts. And the fact of the matter is we are the greatest people on the planet. And that's all I got to say with that. And I rest my case. Ding. So anyway, okay. Teresa says, bright greetings. Okay. Yes, he did. He drove the crowd nuts. This is Michael Jackson when he made when he took the Super Bowl halftime to the next level in 1993, the year of the 22. They said people had heart attacks, people fainted. Everywhere this man made his appearance around the globe was the same result. They had to keep ambulances outside the arenas. Okay. It's just how many ambulances they're going to need and how many trips they're going to have to make. It was like that. Nobody that I know of has done that. Nobody that I know of in the world of arts and entertainment and music has done that. So that's all I'm saying. Okay, this is Feli, I think, born August, fire sign with a fire number. And this will be my first reading ever from South Africa too. All right, good. Welcome. So anyway, you are a fire sign with a fire number. You are a Leo 3 lady, I'm assuming. I don't know yet. So let me be neutral. You are a Leo 3 person. Okay. And what that means is with all this fire energy, and see, 3 is very proactive. Leo is very proactive. So I know that whatever you do in your town, there in the township of South Africa, whichever township it is within South Africa, you should be a mover or a shaker or have all the abilities to be a mover and shaker. Since 3 is the number of entertainment, the arts, drama, things of that nature, acting, dance, theater, musicianship, painting, more than likely that's may be your call. However, one of the second careers of 3s is working for the government. So you may have ties to the government, whether federal, state, local, municipal, whatever the case is, be a leader in your township as it comes to the raising of consciousness and improvement of the people in the community. And it also is religion, which means you would have done well in any religious arts too. But whatever it is, you like to make yourself shine. That's for sure. Leo shine, 3 shine. So you got shining all over the place. Your key numbers are the 3, 1, and 4. And your best days are always, without question, are always on a Thursday first, a Sunday. Okay. Right. And silence is golden. I would agree with you. Less is more. Less is more. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay. Angelique Taylor says 93 Super Bowl, Dallas Cowboys won. Yes, the score was 52-17, I believe. Yes, it was 52-17. The Dallas Cowboys won over the Buffalo Bills. That was one of the first gigantic scores that took place. Now, there have been major ones. I think the 50th Super Bowl, I was doing some little research about some of the oddities of the Super Bowl. I could have kept all day doing it. It got so fascinating, but I said, no, I got to cut it off because I got things I want to do. But yes, it was one of the highest rated and one of the best performances ever. And again, Michael Jackson, because the NBA decided they need to take their Super Bowl halftime to the next level. Who did they get? Was the biggest star on the planet, Michael Jackson himself, and he turned it out. And they said it was his halftime was better than the ratings of the Super Bowl game itself in that year of Super Bowl 27. So what I'm saying is, folks, yeah, Michael Jackson is a musical genius. And notice you gonna call up the producer at 3 o'clock in the morning now. It ain't call him at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to tell me you want to do this. He called him. He must have been meditating because he does meditate. When I had Queen Bee on, we showed a picture how he goes up into this tree in Neverland and how he meditates and thinks and talk to the source and get his ideas and whatnot. So something must have happened that he called the man 3 o'clock in the morning. Listen, I got this great concept, and this is how we gonna do this. The producer didn't tell him how he gonna do it. Michael Jackson told him how we gonna do it. I'm gonna get on the stage, and the music don't start until I take off my glasses. And it drove the producer nuts for 2 minutes because that wasn't part of the script. But it was Michael Jackson's script because he knew just standing there, people drove him crazy. And then when he when he took off the glasses, which was a signal for him to do his thing on the stage, that was history. Halftime has never been the same since then. Halftime has grown and grown and grown to what people witnessed last night. And I understand it was fantastic from beginning to end. But then again, I'm not surprised that we are always called it to save the day. I'm telling you, yeah, that's my opinion. Anyway, thank you. Elaine, thank you very much for the donation, Elaine. You're February the 3rd. You're in a 5 personal year. You just had a birthday last week, so happy birthday to you. You being Aquarius 3 person, that means you're creative, innovative, different, flirtatious, not in a bad way. It's just organic. You're born in 59, but you don't look like you're born in. And I'm willing to bet you $1 the donut. You definitely to this day will attract younger men if you allow them in your space. Okay, and no, they're not trying to look for a mother. As I've heard women say that. Well, they think they find the mother. No, we men know when we're looking for our mother and when we're not looking for our mother. I'm just telling you as a guy how we do. Okay. And so at any rate, Elaine, it tells me you're very creative, very ambitious, but this is a year of opportunities and possibilities, and you should take advantage of all of those. Okay. Okay, this person is okay. I recently started learning about the stock market, being that I'm born on Kendrick Lamar's birthday, June the 17th, in a different year. And you are being in an 8 life path. Is this a good career? Yes. Well, 17 is 8. In fact, if you take JP Morgan, if you look up his biography, he was born in the late 1890s or late 1880s, because he died on March the 31st of 2013. Yes, he did. He died 1 year after the sinking of the Titanic, but he was a businessman. And in fact, sir, he used astrology, Richard. When interviewed in his day, they asked him, does astrology make millionaires? He says, no, it makes billionaires, because he was taught by an astrologer, Evangeline Adams, that was also born on an 8. 8 represents money. And then you're on the Gemini, and Gemini rules business, commerce, import, export, the stock exchange. Okay, hear what I just said? The literary field, the travel industry. So, brother, you're in your element. So it's not a question, it's when, how you do yours. Well, here's the clue. Your angel numbers are always the 8, 6, and 5, which means Saturday, followed by Friday and Wednesdays are your target days to do your thing in the stock field. Okay. And especially if the date is on the 5th, the 6th, the 8th, the 14th, 15th, 17th, 23rd, 24th, and 26th of any month. And especially during the months that are favored you most, which is always in the months of January, May, and June, September, and October. So all I can tell you for now, because I'm about to ready to wrap this show up, so I can't be more specific than that. But I wish you the best, my friend. That's all I can do. And not only that, you happen to be in a 5 personal year. One of your cycles, your numbers are win, place, and show. Well, 5 is in the show place, but that means 5 represents opportunities, possibilities. It rules sales. It rules commerce. It rules. You're in your element. Now, don't mean you go and take all your money from your family, man, and go put it in the stock market and then call me up. I ain't going for that. Don't blame me on that one. That's not about that kind of, it's not that serious. But I'm saying if you do it with a frugalness, with a mindset of being focused and making sure that you have your boundaries of how much you're going to spend and how much you're not. Because sometimes people get carried away once they start hitting some money. This is why people lose all their money in these casinos. They'll win all this money, and they're hypnotized, and they think they're going to get more, and little by little those machines will them away until they just as broken when they came up in there, okay, when they leave. So what I'm saying is keep that in mind, sir. But your career would always be good in real estate, banking, law, working for the government, and you'd also do well in those areas that I know: import, export, stock exchange, literary field. You'd also make an excellent writer, but of a more serious nature too. Let me see if there are any more donations. I want to make sure I got to wrap this up. I'm going to have an astrologer, an intuitive astrologer on Wednesday. I'll show you her in a minute. Oh, Sage Page. Wow. So sorry I missed this one. Thank you so much, Sage Page. You are a Capricorn 1 person. Now, this is interesting because this is a powerhouse of a combination by sign and by number. Capricorn is a leadership sign. The number 1 is born on the 19th, and the 19 denotes the Prince of Heaven, denoting honor, success, and esteem. So if you are on the woman's side, it would be the princess of heaven. In fact, John H. Johnson, that founded Ebony Magazine and Jet Magazine and became a magazine giant in the world of our community, was born on this day. Earl Graves, that founded Black Enterprise, was also born on this day. There's a lot of famous people. In fact, the historian Dr. Leonard Jeffries is born on this day too. So anyway, you too have an imprint to make. So this year is a year where it says you are in a transition. You have to be patient. You have to take your time. And as forceful as number ones like to be, you have to be kind of like more patient. If you're a woman, I say you use what I call the Delilah effect, where you use your charm and effervescence and bubbliness and seductiveness to get what you want. It don't mean you got to give of your soul, but it means instead of, because 1 is a very assertive number. And I'm looking at your birthday, you got 3 1s up in there, 2 9s up in there. So out of 2, 4, 6, 7 numbers in your birthday, 5 of them are leadership numbers. So I know you don't play, okay? But your approach this year, looking at the cycle that you're in for the year 2025, suggests that you're going to have to use a different strategy if you want to get what you want. And every time knocking people over all the time ain't going to cut it, okay? So anyway, thank you for the donation. Your most important numbers, angel numbers, are the 1, 4, and 8. Your best days are always on a Sunday, followed by a Saturday and a Tuesday, although the calendar would say Sunday, Tuesday, Saturday, but Sunday and Saturday and followed by Tuesdays are your best days. Thank you so much for the donation. I just want to make sure, that's why I tell people, please don't donate if you don't think I'm going to call you, because I don't know. There's so many lists of people, which is very flattering, but sometimes I won't know until after. Well, here's Maxine. She did post it down here. Thank you for that. You happen to be a Cancer 2 person. So that means sensitive, emotional, intuitive, romantic, artistic, like to collect things. Your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. And your best days are always on a Monday, followed by a Friday. Okay. And this is Brother Haru that I was with yesterday out in Brooklyn. He is August the 24th. He is a 6. Okay. So his key numbers are the 6, 5, and 9. And yesterday went great because yesterday was the 9th day of the month. And see, 6 is about health. 6 is about health. And boy, when you listen to the lecture, I can understand why the place stayed open till 12 o'clock one night. I mean, almost had to put the man out there, but I was mesmerized. I had to force myself to leave because the later it got, the later the trains get. And New York trains is sometimes kind of like iffy, you know what I'm saying? Nothing personal to the MTA, but I'm just saying, okay? Okay. Kendra, I'd love to do your reading, but you didn't give your birthday. So anyway, I'm going to have to do people later. I'm just going to see. Kind of see something here. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody that donated. Okay. Wow, she made another donation. This is for your daughter, though. Your daughter's name is Kai. Tell me about my baby girls. Okay, I will tell you this. One is a fire sign with a water number. The other daughter is a water sign with a fire number, which I think is interesting. In the case of your first daughter, she's a Sagittarius 2, and her key numbers are the 2, 7, and 3. They have the 3 in common because if you look at your first daughter, her numbers are the 3, the 9, and the 6. So what do your girls have in common? Thursday. So if they were born on a Thursday, interesting. That's what I see. The one on the Scorpion one is the one this is her year where she wants to change, she wants to learn, she wants to do this. In fact, they're both going through the same personal year at the same time, as if they were twins. Your first daughter, if you look at her birthday, December the 2nd, she is in a 5 personal year this year. And if you look at your second daughter, she also happens to be in a 5 personal year. It's like the numbers have been reversed. If you put the 2 in front of your 12 and put the 12 in front of the 3, that's your daughter's birthday, your second daughter's birthday. But if you reduce the 11 to a 2 and put it in the second position and whatnot, that is your first daughter's birthday. So I would say, although one is fire, one is water, and one is a water number, one is a fire number, I'd say these daughters are tight. Okay, you mess with one, you got to mess with both. That's how they roll, I would say. But anyway, they are very, very, The one that's on the 30th, the one that's on the 12th, now that's the talking sister right there. I tell you, you got any girls that got to keep talking, is that one right there. Okay. But the other one, you probably had to kick her out of your bed just last year because she is such a sweetie pie. She needs those hugging affections and attention and whatnot. And you be saying, girl, you better get in your room and stuff like that. Get out of my bed. But she can't help it. But this particular daughter, the first one, she need a hug twice a day. That's the secret. That will do her wonders. Okay. Okay. I'll keep it brief with Crystal Sapphire. Your son's birthday, is November 17th of 2005. Well, he's not too much of a baby right now since he's 10 years old, but he is an old man. I can tell you that. He was born in the morning hours, so his son is roundabout in the third house, which is a house of brothers and sisters. I don't know whether he has any other brothers or sisters or step brothers and sisters or half brothers and sisters, as they call it. But you have a little old man, that I can tell you. You have a young man that's very mature. You have a young man that's very philosophical, and you have a lot of young man that's going to take you to Disney World when he's a grown man, if Disney World still exists. There might be something else. But you have a young man that's going to do very, very well in the financial world. And his lucky numbers, by the way, are the 8, 9, and 6. Okay. So I'm trying to wrap this up, and I'm hoping there are no more donations. I don't want to leave anybody out. Jalen Hurt. See, you something else, Mr. C. You something else. He comes up with the backup. That's the one that's born August the 7th. The one I think is the most valuable player, if that's the term they use in football. Okay. But whoever, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. So please at 8:30 go to Numerologics and watch her predictions of for those that are about, okay, what's the beef? Okay, well, you can do this. Okay, this is what she's going to be having, and you just go to Numerologics and you will get to see what she has to say. I think that'll be in about another 20 minutes or so. Okay, so anyway, I want to thank everybody. I just want to make sure I didn't leave anybody out with donations, and I don't mean to deliberately. So my thing is Big E, and you can go to Big E Astrology on YouTube, and you can see the prediction that Nick Westbrook, the numerologist that I had on my show. Both the numerologists I had on my show made the right prediction, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, it was Nick Westbrook that said Justin Hurst. I think that's what Mr. C said. It would be the most valuable player. So all I'm saying is I have great guests, and Big E is one of them. In fact, I'm going to be on his show on Thursday, this Thursday. Yes, I'm going to be on his show this Thursday. It's Black History Month. So we're going to be talking about that. But see, every day is Black History Day. We always make history every day. So I understand they want to give you 28 days notice, the shortest day in the month. Notice the President Lincoln was born in the month of February too. So I'm saying why they designate that day. But anyway, I got a lot of questions because I kind of think weird sometimes. Anyway, okay, I think that's it. So everybody, I want to thank you very, very much for joining us. I do want to let you know that today's show is being brought to you by U-Juice, okay? By my good buddy, Uchenna Hackett there in Trinidad, Tobago. These are his products. They make wonderful products. You can order them. Also, I want to thank Nicholas Brooklyn for the kindness that they showed me yesterday and for pulling off the most successful first health holistic expo. That thing was nice. The sponsors, the people, it's just nice energy. And for Jazz Aphrodite to get me straight about singing is healing, that it is a class, not a performance. But see, when I saw that mic, I said, oh, she's going to be blowing it out the venue, man. Where's the venue at? No wonder she said text, okay? So anyway, that's it. Then Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly. And I thank her very, very much. And for those of you, we have to thank Michael Jackson for the entertainment that you see each and every year at the Super Bowls, okay? He's the one that pulled it off. He's the one that always pulled in the crowd. There is no question, okay? And so also, again, to Miss Queen Bee, and she's going to have her event on this tonight at 8:30. I'm going to have my special intuitive astrologer on this Wednesday. Her name is Lisa Salvatore, and she's very, very interesting. She was referred to me by a good colleague of mine, John Edwards, who used to do this very popular TV show called Crossing Over. So for those of you who wish to join me tomorrow, Tuesday, at 7 p.m., Click on the barcode right there. I'm going to leave it there for half a second. We're going to be talking about relationships. What kind of relationships do you have? So all the questions you have, get them ready, write them down, bring them to the relationship. It's going to be about 90 minutes to about 2 hours at the most to answer questions. But I'd be glad to have you there to join me. And for those of you who want to get a preview of what I was talking about, well, you can see it here. You can go to Miss Kimberly, Kimbaley. We were joking about this couple that was married for 86 years. We was talking about how they must have been tired of looking at. That's a long time to be looking at each other. And there was something that Miss Kimberly said that made us crack up. So it's all her fault. I was trying to be serious, but we then shifted to the power couples. Okay, so if you want to see what we said, fine. But more importantly, to enroll to find out how you deal with. Don't be surprised now. The first person going to deal with relationships is yourself. So if you don't want to deal about yourself, this is not the place to come to. I'm not going to spend enough time, but enough to get you started so you know which way your compass points north in your life, so you can therefore pick and choose as you move forward in your future with intelligence, okay? And for those of you, my free newsletter, February, is out. It's absolutely free. We don't sell your mailing list. And if you want to hear the audio version of it, you can join Miss Kimberly and I and listen to it on Kimberly, Kimbaley _ and listen to what we said. And what I say and how I write is two different things. So everybody, I will thank you very, very much for joining me. I really, really appreciate this. You'll all have a nice day, and I'll see you within 48 hours. All right? Bye.